What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Fiction Theory. So today we're going to talk about Edward Scissorhands, and this is a classic. This is actually on my top 5. Edward Scissorhands is a 1990 film. It is a romance fantasy genre directed by Tim Burton. It is also screenplay written by Caroline Thompson, and it's an hour and 45 minutes. This overall story, it is about a boy named Edward Scissorhands, who's called Edward, who's created by scientists, and right before the scientist is about to give him these kind of prosthetic hands, he dies. He has a heart attack. Now Edward ends up living up on this hill in this castle by himself, where he feels comfortable until this Avon sales clerk woman Peg comes to his home and ends up bringing him down to her side of town. First thing I want to say about this film is that I love everything about this film. I love the aesthetics. I love how Edward Scissorhands looks, how the costume designs are put together, that introduction where it's snowing and then they do like the cryptic intro of like all the dark figures that are made and everything is just dark and black and beautiful. It's so good. I also love how they made this intro like a story, how they had the grandmother tell the story of Edward Scissorhands, and I thought that she was going to be the narrator when I first ever seen this, and it was like storytelling in a way. I've seen this movie at least like probably a dozen times. I remember every time this would come on, I would just immediately want to watch it as a kid. During my time, this was like the Frankenstein of my time, even though Frankenstein was the Frankenstein of my time. Well, technically it wasn't, because that was like a black and white film, and I think I was like super young when that came out, but I did read the Frankenstein book though. Anyways, even though Frankenstein was the Frankenstein of my time, this was like the Frankenstein of my time as a kid. I loved how one part of the town was like bright and pristine. Everything was like pastel colors. Everything looked the same. It was routine. And then you had Edward's side of town where it was like dark and decrepit, and he lived in this dark castle on like this high gray hill. It was beautiful though, like in a dark way, because it wasn't like evil dark. It was just like, okay, this is dark, this is different, this is probably like emo goth, but it works. The thing that was really great and really humorous was all the different housewives. I mean, they all were like extremely desperate housewives, like to the T, but you had the extremely over the top, gotta look my best, gotta get flirting with literally every man that she sees housewife. Other two housewives who like gossiped about everything. They were always on the phone, chit-chatting, telling everyone's business. You had the housewife who was like a loony, like really religious lady who just thought like, this is evil, you're going to be damned, you're going to hell. Then you had the mother, played by Dianne Wiest, who was Peg, and like this Avon representative, like sales lady, and she was like sweet and kind and like taking care of everyone and everything, and just like conservative. It was just really interesting to see the different dynamics of housewives and like how all of them were basically all nosy, but they all have different like personality traits to them. Really funny. So also one thing I want to mention is this is actually like a male version of like a Cinderella type theme, because he lives in this castle by himself, and it's dark, and like here comes Peg coming up there to kind of rescue him in a way, in a motherly way. So I thought that was interesting how they did that theme dynamic, except he was a guy, and except it's more of a cryptic kind of Cinderella tale, and it's a lot better than Cinderella's tale, let's be honest. I mean, this is like a dark romantic fantasy, and Cinderella's kind of thematic, and it's always about like this savior coming, but in both ways it has that similarity, because there is a savior. In this case, Peg is a savior for Edward, except in this way it just has that edge to it. Nosy housewives had me dead. Like I was like doing monologues of everything that they were doing while I was watching this. I was just like, they need to mind their business. Like, they always in somebody's business. Girl, you need a hobby. You know, you're doing too much. You are doing too much. If can't mind your business was a person or was a group of people, it would be these women. It was so funny when Edward first came, like when he first came to town, because they all got like super dressed up. Like like they knew like immediately what was going on. Like they be knowing stuff. And they all got super dressed up, they got dialed up, and they all kind of just like stood at the corner of the house, like. And then when the husbands all came back from work, like clockwork, they scattered like roaches. You could definitely tell where they live. They don't get much excitement or action going on, because that's the most entertainment they've probably gotten in like months or years. I love how Edward's character, played by Johnny Depp, had like no clue how to do certain things. Like when he tried to put on the pants, it was difficult because of his scissor hands. When he was sitting on the bed and he popped it. When he was trying to eat, it was difficult to eat. And he was always just so fascinated by like the smallest things. And he would look at it and be like so amazed by it and be like, oh my God. What is this? And they'd be like, Edward, come on. You know, it was adorable. He was also like super polite and had manners, but he was like super quiet, and as the woman described him, mysterious because of how he looked. He was definitely an outcast in comparison to like everyone else, all the townspeople. For the most part, the older women and the older people on here, they treated him not too bad. I mean, the women just kind of saw him as like this mysterious like sex symbol who they just wanted to have, and they wanted something new, and then they were all desperate. And then most of the men were cool with him, and they'd be like, oh, we can help you with your hands. Or the dad was like, well, we can use you as a trim cutter because you're good at what you do. And of course the family was trying to help him get a job and everything. But like it was just interesting to see the comparison of how the older people treated him versus the younger generation, like Kim's generation treated him. The boyfriend was like, this dude's weird, he looks creepy. When the friend came over, she looked at him where it was like he touched it with his hands, you know. I'm not eating it. I'm just like, stop being bougie. Like, come on now. They treated him like he was like really, something was wrong with him in a way. And of course when Kim first met him, she was like, who is this freak, this guy in my room, and all this stuff. And it was just interesting to see how those two different generations of people treated him. But man, he was very, very creative. He could pick locks. He was a creative artist. He could turn grass hedges into like animals. He actually started his own business. Like, he was super popular. He was like a celebrity in this town. One of the most sweetest moments that like really got me, and I was like, oh my God, was when he had got arrested for when they broke into that dude's house. And him came up to him and was like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, you know, why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you say anything? Because he was like, I knew that it was your boyfriend's house. Like, I knew it. And she's just like, why didn't you say anything? He's like, because you asked me to. And I was like, yo, he is the sweetest, man. So sweet. A couple things I want to add for my comments. I do feel like, even though I love this movie, it's a classic, it's great, I do feel like the relationship should have been built up, could have been built up more between Edward and Kim, because we didn't really see too many scenes like with them alone, and like with them, they should have done things like where they hung out and really got to know each other, so you could really see like she was falling for him. It kind of happened super quick. Like suddenly she found out her boyfriend was trash because of what happened, and then she was like, I don't love you no more. I like Edward. And like I would have liked to seen probably more chemistry between those two. But that hug at the end, that hug really what got me. Like, it was just simpatico. How do you know? And you know, I guess you just know. Simpatico. Another thing I noticed was the police officer really looked out for him and told him like, yo, take care of yourself, like watch yourself. There was that sense of relatability, understanding, and compassion. You know, I peeped that part. I see what they did there. It was also crazy how like the freakiest, most desperate woman out of them all had the nerve to like turn it around on Edward when they found out that he was in the house and he got framed or whatever. That all of a sudden like he was this creep guy, and I'm just like, you girl, really? You know you was coming on to him hard. You're just mad that Edward didn't want you, and now you're trying to flip the script. Like, okay. I also loved how he innocently just would tell everyone like everything, like, or like he would innocently just sit, like when Peg was like painting his face, he just was like, he's just like, he didn't know what was happening, but he also kind of enjoyed it. And also when they were in the diner and he was like, yeah, I was with so and so, and then she took off our clothes off and basically tried to have sex with me, and they kind of just brushed it off. But like he just so innocently would just say things. Of course, you know, we had Kim's boyfriend, who was like the typical snob rich jock who was like a complete douchebag. Just like, why did she date him? But I also was like, oh, it's because he got money, that's why. Because otherwise, like, he's garbage. He's garbage. The only thing I could possibly think about why she dated him is because his family has money. But everything else, I'm just like, he's just a trash person. So overall, this is a great film. Definitely a classic. Definitely would encourage you to watch this. I mean, I've watched it so many times, like I said, and I'd watch it again and again and again. Like, this is just one of those films. Like, I need this on DVD. I need it on DVD. So if you guys like this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and comment below any other good classics that you watch. And let me know. I will see you all next time. Peace out. Also, be sure to get you a copy of my book Rain. You can hit me up at this email. If you don't want to do the email, you can also hit the link in the description box below to get you a copy. But I will let you know that if you hit up my email and you get attached to the email list, you will get percentage off in comparison to the price on Amazon. And this is a psychological thriller about a group of young adults in a psych ward, and they think they're never going to get out the psych ward, and they get this new counselor who's like, I want to understand what's wrong with you. And he learns that I don't think it's just mental illnesses with you guys. I think you have special abilities. I think that everything is connected. We're all connected. And I think that some creepy, horrific stuff is going on, and they're torturing these kids and they're harming them. And there's something that's not being said in here. So I'm gonna figure it out. If you would like to stick around for the read, because we're getting down to the end of this book. Like, you see this? It's running thin. Then you can stay. So here we go. So now we're on John Smith. So John is basically losing his mind. Ever since he got knocked in the head, passed out is what they told him. Ever since then, his mind has not been right. Everything has been kind of foggy, black. He's been seeing nihil. He's been going in and out of different episodes, and we're gonna keep going. John Smith. I walk back to my 3 children, cozied up in our new bachelor pad we call home. Completely overwhelmed with drowsiness, I fall into the bedsheets as it wraps me tightly in its deep tunnel of comfort. I close my eyes. I'll just rest a bit. My mind drowns into an abyss of darkness, gliding over and through me like strong tides. A bright light trickles my skin. My mouth mumbles the words before my voice can project it. My eyes sparkle like stars. How are you? Confusion tickles my throat. The only way I could reach you, says Nihil as calm as ever, as if this is completely orthodox. So John fell asleep, and he's back at it. He's at the hotel with his cats, who are his children, and he fell asleep. And in his sleep, Nihil shows up. Nihil appears. Her hand strokes my forehead, allowing me to see what she's seen. Tell me your name. It's Matthew, except he's youthful. So Neo in the dream that they're having right now, Neo is actually inside of John's dream, and she places her hand over his head so that she can show him what she sees. Like, she can basically show him her past and how she got into this place and what happened. And now this is the visuals of what happened and how Nihil got into the facility. Tell me your name. It's Matthew, except he's youthful. I'm Nihil. Good. And why are you here, Nihil? He checks off a list he holds. I have nowhere else to go. I was told they give you food here. How are you? I'm fine. You? Do you remember this? He looks around the white room. Do you remember being here? Do you remember anything at all? Neo sits stone like a rock. A jolt of electricity runs through her. She smiles, unbothered. He exhales. You reside in a flesh from a body, so this should affect you, shouldn't it? He ponders. Unless... He walks up closely to her, squinting his eyes. How are you able to exist whenever you choose? Who are you, Nihil? He cranks up the voltage. The vibrations pulsate her hands and feet into convulsions. Tell me why you are here. What's your purpose? I'm nothing, she smiles, and you cannot kill what is merely existing as such. Tell me, he screams in a violent rage. I am nothing, she says. No! His aggression activates the veins popping from his head. Tell me, what is your purpose? Now! He cranks up the knob, increasing the voltage. My lungs cave. Stop! Stop hurting her, please! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, please, she begs, apologizing like she always does. Like it's her fault. Why does she even continue staying with him? Shit, I bark. As Nihil's being tortured, something happens to John. John basically gets triggered by Nihil's thoughts, by what's happening to her, and he goes into his own kind of flashback dream. So think about like Inception in this case. So now John, he's going in and out. So he's going from what Nihil's showing him to now a flashback between him, his brother, and his mother. Stop! Stop hurting her, please! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, please, she begs, apologizing like she always does, like it's her fault. Why does she even continue staying with him? He is shit, I bark. He's our father, says Orko. Orko is his brother. He's a woman abuser, a homophobe, and complete dick, I yell. I understand. My brother reassures. Do you? Because it sounds a lot like you're defending him. He exhales, stretching his arm out to grip my shoulder. You know I'm not trying to defend him. Relax. I shrug away. John, go away. John, I said go. Her warmth touches me. Neil. Oh, I thought you were... So Neil snapped him out of his past trauma and now back in her dream state. His dream state with her in it. I know. We shared your thoughts. Look, John, I have to tell you that day, I know. I'm sorry for not seeing that something was wrong. Tears enter my eyes. I'm sorry. I weep. No, it's okay. Her hand tenses up, shaking. She pulls away but takes a breath. John, I never existed. I am nothing. What? I sniffle. What are you talking about? You're joking, right? I mean, I saw you. I can see you now. The kids saw you. Matt, the guards, everyone. You came here unknown with no family, past, or story. That's a joke. My tone lowers as I whisper the final word to myself. He created me. Who? I ask with uncertainty. Everyone. Me, you, Joe, Teo, Ko, Tracy, Sam, everyone. I don't understand. Her hands shake profusely. I have to go. No. Wait, you can't. You can't just tell me something like that then say, oh, I have to go. Stop looking for me. I'm already found in you and everyone. Neil! Neil! She fades away. Wait. Tell me what to do. I whisper. I awake instantly, positioning upward in the bed. I shower in silence, letting the rain saturate my hair and flesh. Neo just talked to me in my sleep, even though she's dead. Well, she claims she doesn't exist, which is crazy. I mean, I saw her with my own eyes, and we talked, so of course she exists. This is stupid. I need to just go back and figure out what is going on. I turn the knob, grab a towel to dry off, put on my clothes aimlessly, and walk out of the bathroom into the bedroom to dress, then out the door. All right, John, we're going to walk straight up to Spencer and say, hey, look here, you. I... Samantha? Hey, is that you? I walk up to touch her shoulder. Excuse me, but are you... Hey, you get your fucking hands off her. An angry young male yells at me, gripping my t-shirt. Who the fuck are you? Huh? Huh? I stutter, a bit scared and taken by surprise all at once. Sweat drips down my neck. Sorry, I thought I... Don't put your fucking hands on her. Sebastian, it's fine. Let him go. Her beautiful voice orders. He looks back at her, then at me, finally loosening his grip. I let out a sigh of relief. I can't believe. I laugh. I mean, what's the odds of us running into each other? I'm so glad you're okay, Sam. Save it, she says, uninterested. She pulls me to the side while Sebastian watches. That's Sebastian, huh? The boyfriend you talked about? I thought you said he... Forget what I said. What are you doing here? What do you mean? I asked, lost. I was walking out, heading to the office, and I ended up here. I look around. I'm at the hospital? I repeat in a daze. Yeah. John, this is where Matt is too. Oh. I look at her with speculation. I had to see for myself. He's going to die, John. Matt? But I thought he just had a heart attack or something. I play. She smirks. I left a note in your office. Well, I had Tommy leave it. Wait, the note that was on the floor when I walked in, Wait, you wrote that? Yeah, so you read it. She studies my face. You didn't read it, did you? Her tone is even. No, but I can when I get back. It's still in my... No, you can't. It's gone now. It's been read. But who would... No one even... I stop. Fabio. Yeah, exactly. She grabs my hand, and for the first time it startles me, so she pulls away. What's been happening lately? Can you remember anything? I woke up after a shower. I passed out the night before after talking to Spencer. Leon. But Ko, her birthday is today. I pause, unsure of what to tell her, but quickly I decide everything works. Everyone's been on edge since you left. Joe is out of it, and the others are quite more often than before. Sam, we should go. Sebastian anxiously says. John, listen. Do not tell anyone you saw me, okay? I look away distracted by thoughts of my family. John, okay? Yes, okay, but wait. Where are you going? Sam, I need your help. I have no idea what's going on, and I saw Nihil in my dreams. I think... And she says that she's not real, and we gotta go now. Sebastian rushes. But I told her that's just not possible. However, she says that you guys created her, that I was involved, and I'm so lost. I don't know what to think. Shh. I will find you, okay? I'll explain everything. But for right now, I have to go. Okay? Just don't say anything and don't trust anyone. Sam, I whisper. They swift down the hallway past everyone like a whirlwind. Suddenly, a loud sound goes off. I see the hospital staff, doctors, and nurses rush through the hallway. What's happening? I follow the staff to room 3. Outside the door, I watch as 2 women and a male doctor push on his chest, aggressively shaking the bed along with the body. Clear. A shock sound goes off from 2 black square magnets. Clear. The magnets shock him relentlessly, but the body lies still. The male doctor looks at the black-haired woman with a violent expression. Call it. She says, time of death, 3:12 p.m. And that is the end of chapter 13. Matthew's dead, and Sebastian and Sam probably had something to do with it because they hurry up and skedaddled out there quick. John confusingly just learned that Nihil apparently doesn't exist, and she was just a figment of their imagination, and he's just confused and trying to figure out how is that possible, what's going on. Sam and Sebastian just kind of rushed out there, and yeah, we're gonna see what happens in the next chapter. So If you like this video, be sure to stay tuned for what's gonna happen next in this story, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell.